Hi all. Not too much wind today, hopefully that won't bugger up the audio. Yes, so the pusher outside, cleaning the shop out. I've been creating a dust storm. Oh yeah, the wind. Been creating a dust storm now the last fair few days, so it's time to clean the shop, push the car outside, blow everything down. Yes, got on pretty well with the rear clip. Diffuser is being flatted, or will be being flatted by 400 next, and then there's 600, and then there's buff and polish, and then we'll see how the mould comes out for the tail end of the diffuser. So, oh, that's better. Sun's not in the eyes. So yeah, now we have this shape here confirmed, because that's the shape of the diffuser. Obviously, we've now laminated a 3 to 4 inch edge all the way along here. Added to here, we have a big one here, one on there. So really, we've got a large lip all the way around, pretty much there now. I've got a little bit of one to do on the front, but obviously I can't do the front one completely until I've basically took the body off the car, because I need to kind of fill in those cut reliefs that are here on the bodywork when we do the actual tooling from it. So at this point I'll leave that one to last, but now I have these. We've temporarily thrown some blanking plates in the vents at the back, which you'll probably see by the pictures. If I pull the clip down in a minute, you'll see. Yet again, it's just to just so I only have to have one vacuum bag line all the way around, hopefully. We'll see how that goes. Obviously I don't really need that huge a flange for handling fiberglass, but for resin infusion you do, so that kind of complicates matters. But yeah, car outside, it's nice to see it not like cooped in the shop. Yeah, still lots of detail stuff, but that's just really, I'll do that once the panels are off. I've got all my panel gaps still to play with. I still haven't put them off. That needs to be a constant. So this isn't connected yet. It needs to be a constant. So 2.5 millimeters, roughly 3 millimeters tops on every single gap. I've made everything small at the moment. The gap between here and there is actually about 1 millimeter at the moment, because I hadn't got any 2mm wax. I'd have loved to have shoved 2mm wax in there to make, when I made that gap up, would have been a lot simpler. But I just did it straight up against the panel, sort of 0 to start off with. Yes. Yeah, anyway, just nice to see it outside. Let's pull the clip down so you can see it a bit better. Let's throw that up there. Yeah, it's probably going to move. Let's try that. Oh, right, yes, before I do that, the last time we altered this bar across the back, originally it was only this long, and we had the rubber buffers just at the end. Then I realised I needed to kind of support for the diffuser would be good to come straight from this bar, and then we can tee off from this bar to the back to hold the actual the composite part of the diffuser at the back, and I can do the same here. Exhaust boxes are on order, but it seems to be taking ages at the moment to arrive. Once we set up the exhaust boxes here, they kind of be in an X pattern, for reasons I'll explain once they once we do it. The pipe that's coming in here from the 3-inch pipes coming from the turbo, they'll go into one box, same on that side, but so the flow from this side of the engine will go through and then out this side, and the flow from this engine will go through and out that side. So we've got like an in and out pipe quite close together within 12 inches. So we're going to put a bypass valve in here, so basically, obviously for track use only, open the bypass valve, and the gases from this side then won't go through the X, they'll just come straight out the back. So I need to have all that pipe work roughed in where I need it before I do the supports from here back to the base diffuser. But also I extended the bar all the way out. It gave me the addition to putting an extra set of rubber buffers for the bodywork. So now there's 4 points here. There will obviously be some parts where the rear clip attaches to the diffuser itself. We'll put some rubber parts on there, so basically it doesn't rub or chafe. But extending it out to here also gives me the advantage of basically, and this is only 16 gauge, this is quite thin wall stuff, so it doesn't weigh that much. Gives me the ability to build a wheel arch cover in aluminium if I so believe to do that. You do tend to get quite a bit of the detritus flying off the wheel at high speed and then shooting out the back and then destroying your rear grills and the rear bodywork because they shoot straight through them. Especially when I have a vent really close to here. So we're going to put basically probably a curved aluminium panel with louvers in there, but basically the air should still be able to flow through it, but effectively anything that flies up and hits it is hitting it at this angle and not that angle, so it gives us basically like a filter before the stones and whatever else try and destroy the inside of the rear clip. So yeah, we have extended that bar all the way across, and once the two mufflers are here, we'll basically end up extending this out, and this frame will basically become sort of square at the back here, and then that will also carry the loads from the rear wing. And we'll also we'll put the catches for the rear bodywork. We'll put the catches on here. So basically, when the rear bodywork it clips. So if the rear wing tries to do this as you're trying to push it back as the wind's hitting it, the catches there will stop it from rising up and trying to twist it, and plus the body will have more body buffers at the back here. So basically, as it tries to do this, the catches will take this kind of motion that they might want to do to the back of the bodywork due to the forces on the wing, and all the other forces obviously would be put into the frame pushing down. So we need this frame to come out, exhaust boxes there, and then we'll go underneath the exhaust boxes with a frame as well. So got the oil pump for the gearbox. We can mount that on the inside face, so that's kind of out the way of everything. It's kind of a nice place to put it. The cooler itself will probably mount somewhere in the airflow here, and like I said, this area here, we will chop this part of the bodywork out, return this coming this way slightly, basically to allow us airflow from the side pods to come out through here and out through the back. So yes, yeah, let's put the body down for a second so you can see that. Well, see it shut. There you go, less of my ugly mug, more of the car. So yeah, now you can see the blanks that are put into the bodywork. Realistically, they're just there for the tooling. The actual car will have all of them cut out, obviously, to remove as much air as possible from the engine bay. Flow coming in from the roof scoop, flow coming in from the sides. We need to have an exit to the back, and as much as that air we can pump in from the side of the car to the back of the car, obviously we're filling in the void behind it. Lowers drag. How much, I don't know, but that's the theory. So yeah, taking high pressure air from the top of the scoop, because obviously windscreen air is always going to be high pressure, forcing that past the engine will thin and make like heat sink on the top manifold billet piece we're going to make. We'll push the air over that, so basically try and cool that as we're driving, and then all the rest of that extra airflow will just be coming out the back, basically via the four grill holes. Wow, that was hard to say, wasn't it? Yeah, so you've got a bit more of an overview of the back of the car. Should be interesting. The first person that pulls up behind it and goes, "What the F?" if you know what I mean. He'd probably have a number on the corner of his shirt and be pulling me over at that point, but well, we know it's going to happen. There's going to be a few police officers that have got absolutely no clue as to what that is, and probably will doubt its legitimacy, but it'll all be road registered and legal on the road. So yeah, entertaining. Yes, good to get it outside, see a bit more perspective for it. Sometimes when you just sandpaper rubbing down, it gets a little bit demoralising. We have plenty of it to do yet, because technically I'm going to have to spray it with gelcoat, sand it down to 220, sand it down with 400, guide coat it again, sand it down with 600, and then buff it, and then pull the tooling from that surface. And then once you pull the tooling, you've got to make the new body, and you've got to sand that down and paint that. Basically lots of sanding. Needless to say, fingerprints might be disappearing this year. Anyway, yeah, kind of just happy to see it outside. Obviously, yes, it has no brakes at the moment, so it needs a wheel chock. Walk around video. Really, I should have parked the truck right next to it and the Evo the other side, just to give you some reference of height. Measuring the roof, we are 44 inches to the tallest point of the roof to the floor. So if you want to call it GT44, by all means. DP1, that's what I'm calling it. Obviously, Dragon Prototypes being my alter ego. So DP1, it's going to be its official title. Yes, actually getting quite excited about the V10 car, to be honest. It's kind of the more I listen to people with straight through V10 BMWs, it's going to sound kind of ridiculous on track if there's a track left that doesn't have noise limits, that is. And we'll do the same system with the exhaust, hopefully. There won't be quite as much room at the back, but we should still be able to do the cross exhaust with the bypass valves. So yes, anyway, I'm babbling. It's a lovely day. I'm going to work tonight. Oh, whoopity-doo. Such is life. Yes. The progress we're making, I think I could pretty safely say I'll probably be taking orders for anybody who wants body chassis, rolling, turnkeys, whatever you want. Obviously the first V10 car is going to be a turnkey. It's going it's going to a continent that doesn't have any regulations as far as building one-off turnkeys. I think the USA now, we can basically import a turnkey car. It used to have to be a turnkey minus, which was basically a car virtually complete with the engine and gearbox removed, so there was no transmission, no engine. But I think now they do have a limited supply. I think you've got to apply for that beforehand, I think somebody was saying me. But yes, it doesn't have to be a turnkey minus now. I think even to the States you can build a turnkey car and import it. Doesn't have to be 25 years old, which obviously is the rule for anything classic in the US. But yes, hopefully end of this year we should be pretty much having this one painted and start looking for stripping the car down to nothing, and basically plating everything that's got to be plated, powder coating, paint, whatever, looking at trim, etc, etc. Once the chassis is powder coated and come back, then obviously there'll be a lot of aluminium paneling to do, a lot of bulkheads to make. We've got some cabin exit air vents that I've got to. Oh yeah, the front vent here, basically. Yet again, it's in a sort of height. Oh, I'm shadowing it. Oh, there you go. That front vent there, that's going to be a valve of some sort behind this, with a flap. Basically, it'll go into the front of the body, front of the cockpit area. And we'll have a seal on that, so basically if it's hammering it down with rain, then at least you're not going to get totally wet. But we can have a drain valve. Actually, we can put a U-joint drain in there, couldn't we? Yeah, whatever. But basically I want not a hand valve, I want an electronic valve of some sort, solenoid, servo, whatever it's going to be. Basically be able to open and close that so we can get fresh air vent from into here. But obviously if fresh air into the cabin, we need to get cabin exit air out. If you've ever driven something with a kit car with a sealed cockpit. In the rain, it gets kind of nasty because you've got to put the heater full on, you've got the AC full on to try and basically stop the windscreen from streaming up. Me and Fraser McKellar, a long time ago, drove to Silverstone once, and it was kind of dodgy because it was just couldn't defrost the screen, couldn't get rid of the mist on the screen. But there just wasn't enough airflow through the cabin to remove the moisture that we were breathing and we were getting into it, so we needed some fresh air. And the helicopter vents that you'd normally sort of just throw in the side here, which is just basically a round hole that scoops air in, wasn't cutting it. So now I need to have a fresh air intake and then some cabin exit air outtakes. So the cabin exit air obviously will just work on flaps. So basically once the cabin gets over pressure, it basically, the rubber flaps open and come through here. But I'm probably going to end up putting them in the doors because it's the only area that I can get to the outside air. I can't go through the bulkhead. The bulkhead, I go to the engine bay. I want to try and pressurise the engine bay as much as I can with the scoop to cool the engine bay. We're going to have air coming in here, air coming in the top, so that's not going to be a good place to try and vent to. You need somewhere of a low pressure air. Most like general cars have it in the kind of like in the wheel arch area at the back, or somewhere in the boot to the outside air. Basically, if there's any positive pressure in the cabin, it just blows that out. So we do want to seal the bottom of the door, so basically I end up putting a small vent in the doors themselves to get rid of the cabin exit air, because it makes sense to pull it across and get it out the side of the car. So there's those to do yet, which would be an alteration to the moulds as well for those. But yeah, we're 16 minutes. Okay, I better cut it short. Anyway, we're all the way to the end. Thanks for watching, and speak to you soon. Getting close to a single colour soon, albeit gelcoat and being flatted back, but it'd be nice to see it all in at least straight white. Speak to you later.